Ever wonder how to talk about complex family situations in English? Well, you're in the right place. Today we're going to introduce a fascinating topic: English collocations related to family. We're focusing specifically on terms connected to custody and divorce. Now you might be wondering, why should I learn about this? Here's the thing. Understanding these phrases is incredibly important for English learners. Not only does it broaden your vocabulary, but it also gives you the confidence to engage in more diverse conversations. We'll be exploring phrases like custody of the children, joint custody, sole custody, and award sole custody. We'll also take a look at terms such as pay child support, mutual divorce, and separation, and we'll discuss the concept of staying on good terms with each other. Each of these terms has its own unique context and usage, and we're excited to explain it all to you. Ready to delve in? Hold tight, because we're about to dive into the world of English collocations. First up, we have custody of the children. What does it mean? Well, in the simplest terms, custody of the children refers to the legal responsibility a parent or guardian has for the care, welfare, and decision-making of a child. When parents separate or divorce, they need to decide who will take on this responsibility. This is often a significant point of contention in many separations. Now, let's move to joint custody. This term is used when both parents share the responsibility of raising their children, even though they are no longer together. Picture this. Imagine two friends sharing a delicious pie. They both get to enjoy it, right? Similarly, in joint custody, both parents partake in their children's lives. They both have a say in decisions about the child's upbringing, like where the child goes to school, what kind of medical treatment they receive, and so on. On the flip side, we have sole custody. This is like one friend having the whole pie to themselves. In this scenario, only one parent has the legal authority to make major decisions for the child. The other parent may have visitation rights, but the bulk of the responsibility lies with the parent who has sole custody. Now, it's important to note that the court determines custody based on what's in the best interest of the child. In some cases, the court may decide that it's best for one parent to have sole custody, while in others, joint custody may be deemed more appropriate. So, to sum up, custody of the children refers to who has legal responsibility for a child. Joint custody means both parents share this responsibility, while sole custody means only one parent has this authority. And always remember, the child's best interest is at the heart of any custody decision. So next time you hear about joint custody or sole custody, you'll know exactly what it means. Now, let's switch gears and talk about mutual divorce and separation. What do these terms mean? When we talk about mutual divorce, we're referring to a situation where both parties in a marriage have agreed to end their union. It's a decision made together after careful consideration. An example of this could be, after years of trying to work things out, they finally decided on a mutual divorce. This phrase is quite common and is used to convey the idea that the decision to divorce was not one-sided but was agreed upon by both individuals involved. Now, separation, on the other hand, is a term that's often used to describe a situation where a married couple decides to live apart from each other. It's a step that's usually taken before a divorce and can often be a time for reflection and reevaluation. For instance, you might hear someone say, they're not divorced yet, they're just separated. This means that while the couple is living apart, they're still legally married. In English-speaking societies, these terms are used quite often when discussing the end of a marriage. They're part of a larger vocabulary that's used to discuss family matters and relationships. It's important to understand their usage and context, as they can often come up in conversations, news articles, and even in movies and TV shows. It's worth noting that these terms, although seemingly straightforward, carry a lot of emotional weight. They're often used in discussions that are sensitive and sometimes painful. Therefore, it's important to use these terms with care and sensitivity. The phrases mutual divorce and separation are not only legal terms, but also a part of everyday language. They help us understand the dynamics of a relationship and the complexities involved when a couple decides to part ways. Whether you're reading a novel, watching a movie, or simply having a conversation, these terms can provide valuable insight into the narrative. With these terms under your belt, you'll be able to discuss these sensitive topics with ease. But what about paying child support and staying on good terms with each other? Let's tackle these next. So, let's start with paying child support. This is a term that refers to the financial support that one parent provides to the other for the care and well-being of their child or children. This usually comes into play when parents are separated or divorced. The parent who doesn't have full custody of the child, often referred to as the non-custodial parent, is typically the one who pays child support. This money is used to cover expenses like food, housing, education, and healthcare for the child. So, if you hear someone say John is paying child support for his 2 kids, they mean that John is financially contributing to his children's upbringing, even though they may not be living with him full-time. Now let's move on to staying on good terms with each other. This phrase is often used when talking about relationships, especially those that have ended in some way, such as a romantic relationship or even a professional one. Staying on good terms means maintaining a positive, respectful relationship despite any differences or disagreements that may have led to the end of the relationship. In the context of a separated or divorced couple, staying on good terms could mean that they communicate effectively about their children, avoid speaking negatively about each other, especially in front of the kids, and work together to make decisions that are in the best interest of their children. For example, if someone says, "Despite their divorce, Sarah and Tom are staying on good terms for the sake of their kids," it means that Sarah and Tom are putting aside their personal differences to maintain a positive relationship for their children's benefit. Understanding these terms and using them correctly can help you navigate conversations about family dynamics, particularly those involving separated or divorced parents. Now you're equipped to talk about these situations in English, but we're not done yet. Ever heard the phrase award sole custody? Let's break it down. When we talk about award sole custody, we're referring to a legal decision made by a court, usually in the context of a divorce or separation. In essence, award is the action taken by the court, and sole custody is the result of that action. Let's dive a bit deeper. Custody is about the legal rights and responsibilities a parent has towards their child. There are 2 main types of custody: joint custody and sole custody. Joint custody means that both parents share these rights and responsibilities equally, while sole custody means that only one parent has these rights and responsibilities. Now, when a court awards sole custody, it means that the court has made a decision to give one parent all the rights and responsibilities for the child. This decision is not made lightly. The court considers various factors like the child's best interests, the ability of each parent to provide care, the child's preferences, and many others. For example, if a couple is going through a divorce and they have a child, the court may have to decide who gets custody of the child. If the court determines that it's in the best interest of the child to live with the mother, for instance, the court may award sole custody to the mother. This means that the mother would be solely responsible for the child's upbringing, and she would have the right to make all major decisions for the child. However, it's important to note that awarding sole custody to one parent doesn't mean that the other parent is completely out of the picture. The non-custodial parent, as they're often called, may still have visitation rights and may also be required to pay child support. So, in legal contexts, when you hear the term award sole custody, it's about a court decision that gives one parent all the legal rights and responsibilities for a child. And there you have it. Award sole custody demystified. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? We've dived into the complex world of family-related English collocations. We started by dissecting the terms custody of the children, joint custody, and sole custody, understanding their nuances and how they're used in day-to-day conversations. Then we ventured into the realm of divorce collocations, discussing phrases like mutual divorce and separation. We also touched on the term child support, a crucial concept that often pops up in discussions about family and legal matters. And let's not forget, we've also delved into that all-important phrase, stay on good terms with each other, a sentiment that's vital to maintaining harmony, even in challenging situations. Finally, we unraveled the term award sole custody, a phrase that carries significant weight in legal and familial contexts. And that's a wrap. With these terms in your vocabulary, you're one step closer to mastering English collocations. Until next time.